In this episode of Drinking Made Easy, we visit the SLC. I go to the oldest bar in the city, the oldest bar in the state, and end up on my face. It's Drinking Made Easy, Salt Lake City. I'm Zane Lamprey. My job is to drink. I'm traveling the country with my buddies Mark Ryan and Steve McKenna as we explore the local drinking cultures, customs, and cocktails. Along the way, we'll soak in the local flavor in an effort to make drinking easy. Utah's alcohol laws have become part of urban legend, so I made it my mission to get the facts straight. My first stop was Squatter's Pub Brewery, where I learned that all keg beer in Utah is 3.2% alcohol by volume and 4% by weight.
Everything that comes out of the taps in Utah is 3.2% by volume.
Oh, out of the taps?
Yeah, 4% by weight, which sounds better. If you measure it by weight versus by volume,
okay,
it makes it sound better.
Oh, but it's the same thing?
Same amount of alcohol.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. Nice move.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's nice.
Tasty espresso?
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is only 3.2%.
Everything on the tap is 3.2.
So
that's statewide.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about in a bottle?
In a bottle, we just recently, we could do up to 6% about 5 years ago.
Okay.
So we could do IPAs.
Okay.
And then about a year ago, they changed the law basically to make it unlimited. We could do any alcohol content in beer.
But it has to be in a bottle.
It has to be in a bottle. We can brew it here and bottle it here. Before, we had to brew it, bottle it, sell it to the state, buy it back from the state, and sell it here. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
But now we can bottle it here and sell it right out our door. So the first thing all the breweries did was make giant bombers of like Russian Imperial Stouts and Belgian Brown Sours, because we never could do anything like that before.
Okay.
So the whole state went crazy and made all these high alcohol crazy beers, and now we're settling back into doing double IPAs.
What's the highest percentage that you make now?
We have a 9% double IPA.
So in a bottle, you can make whatever you want.
Whatever we want.
And you can sell it
We can sell it here. We can actually sell it out the door too.
And you do growlers.
Yep.
But then the growlers are all going to be 3.2.
3.2%.
Okay.
Yeah. The beer culture in the state has gotten so much better as a result of all these laws changing. Home brewing is huge now.
What was the deal with home brewing? Was it?
Oh, it was totally illegal.
Really?
Oh yeah, completely illegal.
As of how long ago?
Oh, this last law change, you could buy home brewing supplies, but you had to
Right.
pretend it was for something like root beer or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But now that's legal, so it's all over the place.
What was the whole thing about that?
Utah, you know, is founded by Mormons who don't drink. And they've never been happy with letting people drink in their state.
Got it.
Until the Olympics in 2002.
Oh, really?
And once they realized how it made us look and all the money they could make off of the taxes,
Got it.
the laws have been changing ever since.
Okay.
So it's been easier and easier to get drinks and get high alcohol beer. You used to have to be a member of a bar.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we were told. Did you had to join?
You had to become a member.
Become a member? Did someone have to approve of you?
Uh-huh.
Like if I walked in here off the street,
You'd have to either know a member in here or buy a membership.
how much does a membership cost?
This is state mandated.
Okay.
So the year membership was $15, and you get a 2-week for $5.
Okay.
But what happened was you go to the bar and you get a membership and then just stay at that bar. People would just go to one bar and stay there.
Okay.
So there was no bar hopping in Utah. It killed the scene.
Got it.
But now you can go to any bar, walk in, get a drink, and walk to the next bar.
Let's say tonight you go to 5 bars, you'd have to have 5 membership cards
That's
in
right.
your wallet.
Yep.
Were they plastic laminated?
And some of them were, some of them weren't.
Okay.
Yeah, but you'd have to get that card or you'd have to know something. And the way we got around it, the way we got around it was that someone at the bar would designate himself as the guy who knows everybody.
Got it.
So you'd walk in, oh, I know that guy. And so that's how you'd get in.
Well, I mean, once you and I know each other now,
Exactly.
right? So
Yeah,
at
you're
some
in.
point, how do you measure
Exactly.
the knowing of someone? Got it. So according to Doug, all tapped beer in Utah is 3.2% alcohol by volume, which is the same as 4% alcohol by weight. But if you drink it from the bottle, there are no restrictions. Tell you what, very simple. We'll chug these. 1, 2, 3, go. That's not what I expected. It was the coldness, right?
Something like that.
Holy crap. How big's a pint?
16 ounces.
Okay, that's a pint. That's the problem. My next stop is the Bar and Sugar House, a ski chalet that was moved down to Salt Lake City from the mountains in the 1940s.
It's very small in here. can only seat about 13 people at the bar, is that about right?
Yeah, 13.
Your capacity is 25? It's purported that it was a chalet in the mountains and then brought down here by some means and then placed here.
Yes.
And when did it open up as a bar?
1947.
It is the oldest bar in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
And all the beer served is 3.2% alcohol. So what are we drinking?
This is Uinta's Cutthroat.
You who?
Uinta.
What's the alcohol percentage of this?
3.2.
What about bottles?
Everything, 3.2.
Really? Why is that? Because some places can have higher alcohol bottles.
If you're a private club, which is a different license,
Yeah.
you can sell a higher content beer. I just can't because my beer license restricts me.
Okay.
And so it has to be 3.2. But this area has limited licenses available.
Okay.
And also we're close to a library.
Okay.
But since we were grandfathered in, we were able to continue having a license, even though we're closer to the library than the law requires us.
It's incredible. These are on kegs.
These are on kegs, yeah.
And that's the same alcohol percentage as the cans?
Yes.
Cans and bottles or just cans?
Cans and bottles. Some
Okay,
bottles.
cans and
mostly
bottles that you guys have. So even in bottles, it's 3.2?
Yeah.
So even the big companies make a beer specific for Utah?
Yes. Yes. And they when they make the beer, they have to actually drain all of the distilleries and clean it and then make their batches. And then when that's finished, they do the same exact process for the higher alcohol. So there are times we run out of beer.
So that's interesting because usually you think of this as being a lower alcohol percentage than this. Can I try it now and see if I
Absolutely.
can tell the difference?
Lisa tells me that there are actually restrictions on the alcohol percentage in cans and bottles, and that large breweries make beer specific for Utah.
So one's Bud and one's Bud Light?
Correct.
Typically, I would come in here and go, boom, I'll tell you which one because they're lighter. They are exactly the same. You know which one's which?
I do.
Wow. It's amazing.
Mix them around. I'm gonna try to.
Okay, here we go. You still know the difference?
I still do.
Okay. Steve, go ahead.
This is very easy.
Is it really? I think that you know visually what's what.
Bud Light, Budweiser. Is there a difference between 3.2 at elevation and 4.2 at sea level? I think it's all relative.
Has it been a long day for you?
Already. Yeah.
Coming up on Drinking Made Easy, a face plant. Drinking Made Easy isn't just a TV show, it's also a drinking game.
Yeah.
So you can actually play along at home. You can drink along with us. For example, rule number 1, if you're the first person to see Pleplius hiding somewhere in the show or out in the open, you can make someone else drink. Rule number 2, if we mess up on our continuity, something's not quite the same from one shot to the next, you get to make someone drink. Rule number 3, when we challenge each other, pick a side. If you lose, you drink. To have these rules explained, and for more drinking rules of the show, go to drinkingmadeeasy.com. Oh, Pleplius, you have to drink.
Yeah.
We're in Utah, where Mark has ventured north to Ogden to visit the underground distillery.
I was stationed in Desert Shield, Desert Storm with the 388th Fighter Squadron. We didn't have any alcohol for quite a while, but luckily with me on board, with some fruit boxes and a little bit of time on our hands, which we had plenty of.
Nice.
And I could make a really nice neutral spirit.
So you could actually make a pretty decent product if you could get some yeast from the mess hall, get the fruit boxes.
You know, it was a lower alcohol content, but believe me, it was enough to do the job.
So would people start to bug you around the base?
Yeah, all the time. My tent was pretty popular.
And now you're here in Utah, and you're back making booze again with government approval and everything.
Absolutely.
And you make a product here called Underground.
When I came to Utah, stood on 25th Street, I could just feel that this place had some history to it. I had no idea that Ogden, Utah was the crossroads of the West, that it housed opium dens and dens of iniquity and bootleg alcohol just nearly a century ago. And even up until the 1940s, it was quite a Wild West town sitting right here in the midst of, the land of Zion. There were times where people like Al Capone would frequent the town.
Really?
And, yeah. It's really had quite an underground lifestyle, lots of great music. Being the crossroads where the railroad, you would have to either get on the train or get off the train, whether you're going east or west. Ogden was the spot where you changed trains.
Oh, okay.
So, all of the types that, tend to come around, for travelers like pickpockets or, distillers and bootleggers and gamblers.
Let's try some of this underground. I have a good place in my hand right now.
I'm excited for you to try it. This is a blend of 33 herbs, flavors, and spices. It's first a neutral spirit that's distilled to 96% alcohol. We introduce the herbs, sweeten it, and then dilute it down.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Underground, right here.
Seems very smooth.
While Mark was in Ogden, we were a half an hour west at the oldest bar in the state, the Shooting Star Saloon.
The bar opened in what year?
It was a trading post in 1862.
Wow.
There were only trappers and fur traders here.
Okay.
And there was a still and a little bar in the basement where they played cards.
You guys are older than most bars in the country. What about this?
Continuous operation. There's only 3 of us west of the Mississippi.
Okay.
But a lot of them in the east had to close during Prohibition.
Right.
We've only closed for holidays since it was built.
And then it's been opened ever since.
It's been open since it was built.
And during Prohibition?
It was openly open during
It was
Prohibition.
openly opened?
Yes.
How did they do that?
We made our own whiskey till about 1949.
No one got in trouble?
Well, if they disagreed, we'd just shoot them. Kind of our policy now.
It was still illegal here, right?
No, it wasn't really. Ogden was extremely against it. Utah was against Prohibition.
Okay.
It was Utah's vote that ended Prohibition. Prior to 1949, there were more distilleries in
Okay.
Utah than any other state.
Okay. We were talking before about this booze, that it has to be 3.2%.
Okay, 3.2 started in the 50s. And in the 50s, there were about 18 states, even more, that 18-year-olds could drink in. The states that served beer to 18-year-olds, they could only have up to a percentage of alcohol.
Got it.
So when they palletized it, they did 2 labels.
Okay.
One was 3.2 by weight, and one was 4% by volume. They don't make a weak beer for Utah. That's a preconception or a misconception.
So in New York or California, Coors Light is around 4.2%.
Yes, it
And
is
here-
everywhere.
and here's the same
It's
thing?
everywhere. Yeah. They don't, if they bottle or can it, they don't have kegs that are specifically
Written,
for
they write Utah on them.
They don't.
Okay.
And there are more than Utah that gets the 3.2 label.
Got it. So this one's 4%.
So Carol tells me that the big breweries don't make lower alcohol percentage beers for Utah. Confused? Me too.
That's one of the fun mysteries.
Your favorite drink is a
Rum.
Rum. Can we have that?
No.
Why?
Well, because in 1992,
Yeah.
Utah changed its laws. Prior to 1992, you could have anything you wanted in here. They made it so that you had to become a club in order to serve liquor.
Oh, a specific license.
You had to have a club license, and it was private. And the Shooting Star was never private. You never had to have a membership
Oh, got
to
it.
come into it. So we decided, we were here long before Utah.
Yeah.
We could outweight them.
So that's what we're doing right now.
And that's what we're doing.
Getting to the bottom of Utah's alcohol laws is tiring, so we headed down to Park City to take a break and hit the slopes. We're at the Alpine Slide at Park City Mountain, and this is our challenge. You got really tall.
I've never done this before.
Really?
No. How fast are you gonna go?
I'm gonna probably go about the speed that it'll allow me to go without falling because it's dangerous.
You're just gonna open it up?
I'm gonna open up on the turns. I might pull back a little bit.
I'm gonna take Steve.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, 6 packs. I'll see you at the bottom. Please, can you start us? What are you doing? Please.
It's time for the six-pack challenge.
So here's the deal. In every episode of Drinking Made Easy, Steve and I will face off in a six-pack challenge. We'll bet 6 six-packs on the outcome, and Mark will bet on who he thinks will win. Whoever wins the challenge gets 6 six-packs of beer.
Lamprey and McKenna will race down the 3,000-foot track. The first person to the bottom wins. McKenna illegally pushes off. Lamprey has no choice but to follow suit. And they're off. Racing down these tracks is not smart. McKenna has the right idea about working the brake, but it's taking him out of the race. Lamprey's got the throttle pinned, and he quickly builds a formidable lead. McKenna continues to pump the brakes, and he falls further and further behind Lamprey. Lamprey is flying down the track. He may be going too fast. Oh, and he's down. A closer look shows he falls off his sled and does a faceplant onto the track. McKenna catches up to Lamprey to see if he's okay. And Lamprey is back on the track. He's banged up, but determined.
Because your beard! Your beard's slowing you down! You're outweighing me!
They are neck and neck. This is a close one. It will come down to a photo finish. Lamprey thinks he's won. And Lamprey wins the 6-6-pack challenge.
Coming up on Drinking Made Easy, I break the law.
Now I broke a law. We gotta dump it.
We're in Utah, where we've made our way up into the mountains from Salt Lake City to Park City. My first stop in Park City is Easy Street, where they won the 2010 Park City Cocktail Competition with their drink called the Acai Sour.
You want to start with a tumbler?
Okay.
Fill it with ice. You're good.
What's this?
You got to measure it out, dude.
What is this?
They want you to behave in Utah, so we got to measure out our drinks.
Who does this? This is the States?
The state makes every bar use it.
So how do you do it? Like this?
Okay, so pull it in.
Oh, wow.
Hold it like this, turn it upside down. It measures out 1.5 ounces of.
How does it do that?
There's some sort of magnet that closes it off.
Stick that in like that, and then
Turn it upside down.
I think it's broke. Oh, that was it?
Well,
Oh,
it's
it's an
still
ounce and a
leaking,
half?
so you gotta.
I don't. Did I reset it?
See, that's now.
I just broke a law.
Now you crossed into illegal territory.
Now I broke a
You
law.
can't
We
pour
gotta
doubles.
we gotta dump it.
The Acai Sour is made with 1.5 ounces of acai berry vodka, 1 ounce of lemon juice, a splash of blue curacao, and 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar.
Good job. That's 1.5 ounces and it stops?
Yep.
So everything has that on it?
Yeah. If it's a secondary one, like triple sec or something,
Like a liqueur?
you can free pour that, but it has to have this little sticker on it. You can go up to 2.5 ounces of liquor
flavoring?
in a drink, but the primary one can only be 1.5 ounces. Perfect. You don't have to measure your lemon juice.
I feel like I should, Cody. I feel like I should. I don't want to break any rules. Vigorously?
Vigorously.
Is that it?
Nope, gets 3 blueberries. You ready to go? It's also illegal for you to be drinking behind the bar as the bartender. Just
Really?
So you know.
I just broke another law?
Yeah.
That was good. Am I allowed to have another one?
You just can't have 2 at the same time.
So you can't have more than 1.5 ounces of your main liquor and then another ounce of flavoring? So 2.5 ounces total.
Yeah.
And then you can't have more than 1 drink at a time.
You can have a beer and a shot. You can have a shot and a glass of wine. You just can't have 2 spirituous liquors in front of you at the same time.
You can't make a Long Island iced tea.
No.
Just down the road from Easy Street is High West Distillery. I stop in for some white whiskey.
But this is not like whiskey that thine eyes have ever seen.
All spirits come out of the still clear.
Right.
Brandy, vodka, whiskey comes out clear, and the point here was to have whiskey that was unaged, kind of like moonshine oil. This is a lot better than any moonshine you'll ever have. And white whiskeys have exploded in the last 6 months.
This is vodka.
Uh-huh.
So,
And it's also clear.
but what's the difference?
They both start life as a beer. When you make vodka, you basically purify the heck out of it.
Okay.
When you make whiskey, you don't purify the heck out of it.
So you distill it to a point where you take out the flavor that it started off being.
Vodka is defined as being distilled to 95% pure ethanol.
Okay.
In a beer, there's about 800 chemicals. Ethanol and water being 2 of them, but then there's acetones and aldehydes and fusel oils, and all these things. And to the vodka drinker, those are contaminants.
Okay.
To the whiskey drinker, they're
Flavors.
So
Got
to the
it.
vodka drinker, we left all the congeners into the contaminants. To the whiskey drinker, we took all the flavor out.
This used to be this.
I could take this, and if I purify more, I get that. When you taste it, you're gonna go, wow.
We're trying to make drinking easy. It's so difficult. You know what I mean?
It is. When you're nosing a spirit, I want you to do something. You did what wine people do. Wine people do this. They go.
Okay.
Ethanol burns.
It burned a little bit.
Yeah, it burns me.
My nose is drunk.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So when you smell a spirit with high proof, open your mouth, and I want you to open your mouth and suck in fresh air as you suck in the spirit through your nose, and it dilutes down the ethanol and actually accentuates your ability to smell. Does that make sense?
It really has a vanilla sort
There's a lot of vanilla. So it's made from oats, and why oats? Because oats taste good. You eat them for breakfast. Some people do. I like them. And this is a very soft but full-bodied vodka because that's kind of our style around here. So cheers. Hey. Now the whiskey. So we call it high west silver whiskey. Like it's yeah, exactly. But there's a lot going on there compared to the vodka. Again, they start like from the same mother. To be called whiskey, this actually had to be in a barrel. So we called up the federal government and said, well, what if we just put it in the barrel for 5 minutes? As quick as we could put it in and get it out. They said, that's okay, as long as it's in a barrel. That's what the reg reads.
Okay.
And so I didn't want the barrel in this to ruin the flavor, because barrel adds its own flavor. I wanted you to taste the eau de vie of the oat on this, and that was the goal. Because it's good, it tastes good.
It is good.
This is called a blend of straight whiskeys. The two most misunderstood terms in the world of whiskey, right?
Okay.
That word blend,
yep,
and that word straight. Straight is basically the U.S. term that's kind of the equivalent of single malt. Well, single malt is a whiskey that's the product of one distillery in Scotland.
Right.
If you mix a single malt from one distillery and a single malt from another distillery, now they call it a blend of single malts. This is a blend of straight, like the single malt in America. It has to be aged in brand new oak.
Okay.
Not used oak. Most American whiskeys are aged in new barrels.
Okay.
When we're done with the barrel, we get rid of them. We sell them to Scotland, Canada, Ireland, Mexico, the Caribbean. They reuse barrels 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
Okay.
We basically use them once to get rid of them.
Is that their regulation?
To be called straight, that's our regulation, because we got a lot of oak trees. And Congress passed this law in 1964 that says to be called straight, you have to have a brand new barrel. Oak adds vanilla because it has a chemical in it called lignin. When you cleave that in half, it forms 2 vanilla molecules, and you get loads of caramel. And what do caramel and vanilla go really well with?
Dessert.
You fell right into my trap. I'm on a mission from God. American whiskey should be on every dessert list in the country, and they're not.
I feel like you're angry with me.
I'm angry, not with you, with people that write dessert menus, I am.
Bastards.
As we cruise out of town in our bus, we jump into our food eating challenge with the official snack of Utah, Jell-O.
Who are you taking?
I bet you he can beat you.
Oh, for the first time in a long time, he's not taking you. That's smart.
You think you can beat him?
Sure. All right, so you guys are making a bet, and I'm making a bet against you.
Yeah. 6-6 pack.
Go.
The boys have 10 minutes to eat as much Jell-O as they can. But if someone throws up, the other person's the winner.
That's the volume of...
And they're all tied up after one. McKenna is distracting Lamprey with his nonsense, and it appears to be working.